Hey folks, Steve here, and I thought I'd bring you up to date on how my Ring of Honor Fed's doing. Now, to get started, I just want to go into some more detail about it. It's basically Ring of Honor plus its sister promotion, Shimmer, which works as the women's division, I suppose, and both will both have tag team champions, as well as being used. I'm using cards from not just Ring of Honor, but Shimmer, of course, also from Combat Zone Wrestling, since I reviewed that last time, as well as a card from Chikara, if their gimmicks aren't too outlandish, I suppose. And let me see what else. Well, when I get the sets for them, Evolve and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I won't go into too much detail regarding how well they did in minimal detail as far as how well they performed, but it's also about their artwork, their stats on their cards at face value, as well as how much fun I had using them. That being said, let's dive into the women's tag team division. The only one that's really made any progress are the Lucha Sisters, Mia Yim and Leva Bates. Now, Leva here was initially teamed up with Allison Danger as Regeneration X. They didn't do so well, so I found that she and Mia teamed up and actually won a few tag belts in real life, so I figured, what the hey, using her, I just got this card, put them together. They work well. I mean, Mia's stats aren't that, she's not as strong as Allison. I might bring her up if I ever have her teamed up with in a different tag team later in another season. By the way, I'm currently in the 4th season with my Ring of Honor Fed, just so you know. But she starts out well. She has good offense and to kick off, and then when you want to finish, really dole out the victory, tag Leva in because she's got a +2 tag finisher. Works very well. As far as singles matches are concerned, Mia only, she can rack up a few wins every now and again to bump them up in those tag rankings. So, fairly well. Now, for the singles division of the women's singles division, Soraya Knight's pretty good. Last time I was using her, she didn't do that well, but she offensive, very solid. Look at this. She's got 2 finisher slots. Both they might be 0 ratings, but they can rack up that fatigue very well. And she's only got a total of 2 down instructions on between level 2 and 3 of defense, so she's not going down fast. And she was the champion for a while, but then got dethroned by Sarah Del Rey. Now this is her updated card from the Technico set in Chikara, and let's just say her original card from the Chikara Star set was very average. 0-0 power and 2 down ratings on her level 2 defense, which was horrible. This one is a whole lot better. She has a 0 and +1 finishers. Awesome. Plus, she's got a depth jump rating of A, which you don't see that much often, but especially with someone that's not as fast, she's good. If you get the Technico set, use her. Bring her to a women's division of Ring of Honor. She's gonna go far. Now for the men tag teams. From the Dark Menace Forces set, Rocky Reynolds and Bennett Cole, Criminal Justice. These guys are unpredictable as far as match performance. Now, when I first started Ring of Honor, they were my first champions. Immediately lost the titles for first defense, but I decided to bring them back in for this season. They were on a roll for a while and just dominated I'll get to who beat them later, but Cole is pretty good, solid outside the ring, but if if his opponent if you're fighting against him and you get a death jump instruction, use it because his rating is C. Reynolds, very solid, very average power and agility, but his ropes rating is A, so watch out for him. But what gives him an advantage is also in Dark Menace Forces is the Dark Menace himself. Those who don't know is the wrestling alter ego of the game's creator, Tom Filsinger. This is very useful if you're using him as a manager for these guys or anyone else in that particular set. When an opponent is outside the ring, you roll one die and see what happens, whether or not you actually roll out of the ring chart or something else happens. Really helpful. Next is the Addiction. Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. These guys work together so well. As for Kazarian, he has add ones on both level 2 and 3, so that's a great way to rack up the fatigue on your opponent. Plus, his finisher changes if you're in a tag match. You have to roll the die again, and depending on what it's going to be, it can be as low as 0 to +2. But that's nothing compared to how Daniels here has a +3 for his finisher. So if you really want to finish off the opponent, tag Daniels in. I'm hoping that they win the belt soon. Now, World's Greatest Tag Team. This artwork is freaking awesome. If you can pull this off, you win points in my book. I've been wanting to rotate these guys out for quite a while, but they just hang in there. Just the way the dice fall, these guys rock. I mean, Shelton has threes from 4 to 6 on level 2, which makes him a solid. When you get him, if you get your opponent falls to level 2 again, tag Shelton in, get him to level 3, then tag Haas in, because he has a 0 on 5 and a +2 on 6, +2 tag on 6. Best way to finish him off. Now, I said that Criminal Justice had been on a roll until they lost the belts recently. That was because of Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs. Scum. Oh my god. These guys started out bad in season 1, but now in season 4, they are just dominating. Well, both of them have their finishers on 5 and 6, but Corino here has 2 zeros plus an add 1 with a disqualification risk, whereas Jacobs has a 0 and a +3 finisher, and that +3 has a DQ risk. So if you don't want to risk disqualification, try to be careful. But then again, in both cases, the DQ rating is only a 4, so the risk is low, but then again, it's a random roll of the dice, so you never know. Now, to bridge the gap between singles and tag teams are two guys that work well both ways. The American Wolves. Now look at this artwork. Now that's even better than Haas and Benjamin. I mean, you can see the combination artwork, one like the wolf on here, on red wolf on Richards and blue wolf on Edwards, but when you put them together, you get a wolf in the center, which perfect example of how well these guys work as a team. But honestly, Richards is doing a whole lot better right now. I decided to put them in singles because when you're having them fight each other, it can be very unpredictable. Because when Richards here rolls his finisher against Edwards, you have to roll the die again. If it's 1 or 2, Edwards will reverse it into a Dragon Sleeper, which counts as a 3-add-1. However, Richards has been dominating because he has 2 3-add-1s on level 3 as well as that zero finisher. He has a lot of potential to rack up the fatigue and ultimately win in the end. The only thing Edwards has is three moves at strength 3 on level 2 and a +2 finisher. So I've been wanting to put these guys in more matches against each other, but he just can't seem to win as much. Fully going into singles are two guys. Well, we'll start off with the combat zone guys that have really surprised me. Drake Younger. Now I've said that the combat zone cards for set 1 are kind of middle of the road, but he's surprising me. I mean, his Drake and Bake move on level 3/5 has a chance to become an add 1 if you roll properly, and as well as and he has A ratings in Death Jump and Out of the Ring, so he fell a little short of winning the television title, but I have a lot of hope for him. Sami Callihan. Now, as I had mentioned last time, this guy surprised the heck out of me. With that add 1 on level 2 and the add 1 to both on level 3, he has been racking up wins left and right, but falling short of winning the World Heavyweight title. So I'm trying to push him a little further, but we'll see what happens. Unbreakable Michael Elgin. When I got the Tradition of Honor set and saw his stats, I was just blown away. As a comparison, look at his card from the original set. Artwork is a whole lot better. The original card? The artwork was okay. This one depicting him as from winning the Ring of Honor title sometime last year, I believe. A whole lot better. Now, one thing that surprised the heck out of me, I got to thinking about it. His original card here, his power and agility are respectively -3 and +1. But he has a special effect when he's when the opponent rolls into the ropes. You have to roll the die. If he gets 5 or 6, he reverses it into a move 3, which means the opponent will roll a level 3 defense. Here, on the other hand, that mechanic is not present. Instead, his ropes rating is on here. His into the ropes rating was B. Here it is an A rating. Now, that surprises me because I have seen very few guys. Well, his stats here are -4 for power, 0 for agility. I have yet to see any, and like I said, his original card here was -3, and here it's jumped up to -4. I have yet to see a Ring of Honor card, well, any colored card in color, to have a strength rating, a power rating higher than -2. So he's gonna, if he has rolls a power move, he's more than likely to get it, because the only way it's not going to work is if the opponent has a power of -5. The only guy that has that right now, as far as real life wrestlers, is Andre the Giant. The only thing that sorry about that. The only thing that really goes against him would be his move 3 at the bottom of level 1, which would fail only if the opponent has a better agility. In this case, being a 0 means it would fail if the opponent has an agility of -1 or lower. So more than likely it's gonna fail, but sometimes if he's fighting a slower guy, he's gonna hit it and he's gonna get the advantage. True story. When I started using this guy, he was on a major roll in season 3. He had first pay-per-view of that year, he won the title, held it for 5 defenses and a total of 15 victories, no losses until first pay-per-view of this season. And we'll get to who beat him in just a. For those who were wondering who beat him, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Those who don't know, in WWE, he is Daniel Bryan. And truth be told, his artwork here, I'm on the. I support it, but I just don't really like headshots, close-up headshots like this. I mean, look at his previous card from Chikara. That looks pretty cool, but the stats here are substandard. They're okay, but using him in Chikara, he doesn't do that well. Here, oh my gosh, from the Chikara card, he had a -3 agility, but here it's a -4. Plus, he's got a 3 agility check on level 1, which means more than likely he's going to hit it unless someone has a -5 agility. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Sydal in the Final Battle expansion has -5. I will get to that if I ever get it. But the thing I love about this card, he's got 4 finishers in one slot. As you can see, those who can see it, his finisher says Final Countdown, which means you have to roll the die to see what finisher you get. If you roll 1, it's a +1 Regalplex. 2 through 4 is a crossface chicken wing. 5 cattle mutilation +3, and then 6 +4 MMA elbow strike. I have hit that 6. I have hit that +4 finisher multiple times. In actually one match, he hit it 2 times in a row and then won. Trust me, if you want to have a dominating force in Ring of Honor, you gotta order Danielson. $4 is worth it to add onto your order. Well, that's how things are going so far in my Fed. This is only after 3 months worth of gameplay of game time in a 7-month long season. After I finish month number 7, I will go into detail as to what's going on and what I might do for getting a new set. Somewhere down the road, maybe next week I'll talk about. It's basically the elephant in the room for me. I don't like to criticize, but there are a few cards that I consider disappointing. So I will talk about those. I suppose until next time, see you around.